Hey guys, this is Arithmetic Extras 2. In Extras 1, we were able to talk about whole numbers and we saw some associative properties that are unique to any whole number. And then we looked at different signs and how these signs can be manipulated in any equation. Okay. In today's episode, which is on the extras, we are going to be looking at certain informations that are added information on multiplication. Number one is that other words used for multiplication, used to mean multiplication include one, we have by, two, we have of, and then the full stop, what you know as full stop in English is called point. In maths, it's simply put this way. Alright, and it means multiplication. And so words like by, you will find them mainly in measurements. By will be found in measurements. You will see it also in trigonometry. And so on and so forth. Okay. And of is in order. You usually see it in board mass. It occurs also in mixed operations, excuse me, and fractions, and so on and so forth. And then the points, when you start getting up in mathematics, you'll find questions that will be placed maybe even this way, 3.4, but now the point is in such a way that you could understand that they are separate, and so this would mean 12. Okay, you see that they are being separated. It's different from 3.4, and that is multiplication. All right, and for measurement you would find something like 50 by 100, maybe 50 feet by 100 feet, and this means 50 multiplied by 100. Okay, and so that's how it just keeps going on and on. And there are some questions where after writing certain fractions and the rest, you will see the word of. It simply means multiplication. All right, so let's talk on another thing, letters and numbers. Number one case is where you have a letter attached to a number, something like 2a. Okay, what this means is that 2 there is multiplying the a. All right, so it just simply means this is equals to 2 times a. Okay, so that you can have 2a. It also means a plus a, which will also be 2a. Okay, another case would be where you have something like a times a times a. In this case, a will be squared. It will be squared. Okay, that's what a times a means. And so in case like this, you could have a, you can have a, and this means a squared. You see that what is being squared is just simply saying that the multiples of the base, that square there is the powers, and then the a there is base. So the powers is indicating a repetition of it, multiplied repetition of it, or multiples of it. Like a cube would mean a times a times a. Okay, so that's just what it means, right? Now, let's also talk about brackets. Brackets. In maths, we have three types of brackets. Number one is this kind of bracket, and it is called parenthesis. Number two is this type of bracket, and it is called curly bracket. Curly bracket. Number three is this type of bracket, and it is called square bracket. Square bracket. All right. And so any of these brackets, when used directly, means multiplication. When used directly means multiplication. Take for example, say you have 2 bracket 3 plus 2 close bracket. What this means is 2 times 5, because you are going to add what is in the bracket first, and this will give you 10. Okay, you can see that that bracket, after resolving what is inside, was finally solved so that you can have 5. Then it is multiplied. It indicates, the bracket there indicates multiplication. However, when you have something like this, the same question, 2 open bracket 3 plus 2 close bracket, this is different because you see now that there is an operation before the bracket, and so this will be 2 plus 5, and that would be 7. After resolving what is in the bracket, you can add the operation there. Okay, so we can also have cases where this bracket come with, let's say you have something like 2, the same 2 close open bracket 3 plus 2 close bracket, and then you have a square involved. The bracket there is already telling you it's multiplication, that everything within the bracket is going to be multiplied. That square captures everything within the bracket, and so this would be 2 plus open bracket 5, then raised to the power of 2, and 2 plus 5 into 2 places. This would be 2 plus 25, and this will be equals to 27. Okay, so you can see how bracket play out each time we are looking at brackets. Okay, it's very important that you take note of this. Very, very important that you take note of this. However, when you have something like this, when you have something like, say, c raised to the power of 2, this means everything within the bracket should be raised to the power of 2. So this is 3 times 3, which will be equals to 9. This same question, when you have something like this, then raised to the power of 2, What this means is that the minus there is not included in the bracket. So your consign is everything in the bracket. Therefore, you have your minus, then you have 3 times 3. You close your bracket, and this will give you minus 9. Because 3 times 3 is 3, nothing affects the bracket. When you have something like this, minus 3 raised to the power of 2, what this means is that everything in that bracket is raised to the power of 2. So this is open bracket minus 3 times minus 3. Okay. Remember, when you are dealing with something like this, we have done this in extras 1, that minus times minus is plus. 3 times 3 is 9. And so this is equals to 9. So you have to be careful to know how to use this bracket and how to interpret them anywhere they occur. Okay. Now, when you are doing mixed operations, where you will have, in some cases, you will have three of these brackets, the parentheses, the curly bracket, the square bracket, in a single operation. Okay. In such cases, the first thing to solve is the one in your bracket, is this parenthesis. The next to solve is the curly bracket, and the next, which is the last to solve, is the square bracket. What it means is that when you have a question involving two of these brackets, say maybe the parenthesis and the curly bracket, okay, the first thing to solve is the operation within the parenthesis. The next to solve is the operations around the curly bracket, and the final one to solve is the one within the square bracket. So usually you will always have the parenthesis inside, followed by the curly bracket, and then finally the square bracket. So this is how you solve operations involving parentheses. Okay, very, very important for you to note. Please, very, very important for you to note. Now, how about I think we've been able to cover a lot on this. Let's see, if you have questions, then maybe it will lead me to making another video on this. So let's talk about the equal to sign. The equal to sign. Equal to. And this is what this means. Okay. So most of the time we use the equal sign to indicate a balanced equation. Most of the time, the first thing equal to does is that it indicates a balanced equation. Okay. For example, let's say you have 3 times 2 equals to 3 plus 3. You can see that what you have on your left hand side is equals to what you have on your right hand side, because 3 times 2 is 6, and then 3 plus 3 is 6. Okay, so the equal to sign is used to indicate balance equation. Also, the equal to sign separates equations into two sides. That is the left hand side and the right hand side. Just look at your screen. What you have here, all that you have here where the cursor is blinking. Excuse me. All that you have here is the left hand side. All that you have here is the right hand side. And so the equal to sign helps you to separate equations left and the right hand side. Okay. Now let's talk on another thing that involves the equal to sign. Every time you have a negative, let's say a positive sign, a negative sign crossing an equal to sign, it will change to a positive sign. When you have a negative sign crossing from the left hand side to the right hand side, it changes to a positive sign. When this positive sign crosses over to the left hand side, it changes to a negative sign. Okay, so let's say you have minus 3 equals to, what will it be, assuming this is crossing over? Let's say you're crossing over this minus 3 to the other side. Obviously that will now be plus 3. Okay, when you have plus 3 crossing the equal to sign to the other side, it will become minus 3. And this is very, very important because there are questions that would require you to do certain things. Let's take an example. Say we have 2x and we have plus 3 equals to let's say 4. Let's say 6. Okay, let's say 7 so that it will be 10, or however it is. Okay, so you see in this case that 2x plus 3 equals to 7, and you are asked to find x. First thing to do is that you are going to put down your 2x and you are going to say equals to, and you are going to retain your 7 where it is. But the plus 3 will have to cross over the equal sign to the other side. And to do that, once it crosses over to the other side, it becomes a negative minus 3. Okay, so that you can have 2x equals to 7 minus 3 now is 4. And so you have 4. And you will divide both sides by 2 so that you can cross out and have x equals to 4 divided by 2. And so your x will now be equals to 2. Okay, you can see a practical way we do this crossing over and all the rest. And that's how it works for both negative and positive each time they are crossing over to the other side. Okay, last thing I want to talk about on this equal to sign would be that the equal to sign creates a relationship between two equations. It merges two equations together. Let me give you an example of what I mean. If the exchange rate of a dollar to naira is equals to 200, how much is 50,000 in dollars? How much is 50,000 in dollars? So you will say $1 is equals to 200. How much is 50,000 in dollars? So we have, say, $1 equals to 200 naira. Let's use the hash to represent 200 naira. Okay, and you are being asked how much is the dollar equivalent of 50,000. Let's put that unknown as A so that we can have the $50,000 naira here. Okay, you can see that we have two equations here, and in such cases we can cross multiply this. We can cross multiply this so that we can have, let me just go over to this so you can see what I mean. So we have $1, okay, equals to 200 naira, and we are asked what is the dollar equivalent of 50,000 naira. These can cross multiply. You see, the equal to sign now merges these two equations together so that you can have $1 times 50,000 equals to A times 200 naira. 200 naira. Okay, so that you can have this $1 times 50. This will be 50,000 naira. Okay, so but you can see exactly how this works. Okay, times $1, and when you do this, I don't know, my screen is not giving me what I want, but when you do this, you have put both equations as in differently on the right hand side and the left hand side, and you can actually make A the subject of the formula. Okay, and if you do that, if you make A the subject of the formula in that question, it's going to look like something like this. So because of my screen, I'll just go right ahead to give you what it looks like. So this will be A equals to $1 times the naira equivalent 50,000 times 50 all over the 200. Okay, so this 2 can cancel out, this 2, and this can go into this 25 times, so that you can have A equals to, the dollar sign comes back here, so this will be dollar, this will be 225, this 0 is still remaining here, so this is $250. Okay, so what that means in that question is that when you convert, if $1 is if $1 is 200 naira and you convert 50,000 naira to dollar, it should give you $250. Okay, and so this is exactly how equal to sign works. All right, I think we've been able to cover a lot on this. The reason why we had to do these extras is because when you start solving questions relating to mixed equations, fractions, a lot of other things, these extra informations that we have been able to treat will be able to guide you on how to go about it. All right, I want to believe that you understand. If you do not understand or have a question, you can leave that in the comment section. Thank you so much, and I'd like to encourage you to please follow this channel if you haven't done so, and also ensure that you put it in a setting that each time we upload videos, you're able to get a notification. And I'll see you in the next video. Thank you so much. Bye for now.